All right, nobody likes being left alone. Nobody likes being abandoned or that feeling of being alone. I think that's a universal truth that we can all agree with. When I was 7, my dad and I went hunting, and it was a common thing for us to do, but usually we just drive around. This night we found ourselves walking down a trail, and it was getting dark. I remember it well. It was getting pretty close to when we'd have to go back to the car, and my dad saw a deer. He took a shot and thought he had hit it. And we proceeded to chase this deer, to track this deer. And he realized pretty quickly that having a 7-year-old following you through the brush in Oregon looking for a deer, like at twilight, man, it was bad. And so he set me up on a stump and said, hey, stay here. I'm going to go look around. I'll be right back. And I was brave for about 30 seconds. And after 30 seconds, I mean, the woods started moving. I swear they were like walking around, and there was probably tigers and bears out there trying to get me. And I started freaking out. I just lost it. I did not like being left there. I started kicking and screaming. My dad came back. Needless to say, we didn't get the deer, but I still remember that feeling of feeling abandoned, feeling left alone. And it's an unpleasant feeling that I think we can all agree we all hate. And the chances are you've experienced being abandoned or being left alone before at some capacity. Maybe it was just temporary where you lost someone because of a deployment or because they were just going to be gone on vacation for a while, or maybe even a divorce where they're not gone forever, but they're gone for a time, and you still understand and still feel that sinking, alone, abandoned feeling. Some of you guys have no doubt lost people permanently, whether it's from their choice leaving you or because they're no longer on this earth. But that feeling still persists, and we hate feeling abandoned. We hate feeling left alone. It could be from a broken relationship or whatever it is. And even if you haven't experienced that a lot, the chances are you commonly experience the anxiety associated with the possibility of losing somebody, where you have this present emotion of the potential to lose someone in the future. And maybe it keeps you up at night, or it's just like if someone were to ask you what's the worst emotion you can feel, it's that you might lose someone close to you. And that's a common feeling that actually Jesus' disciples felt for a very short time. And I know you can identify with this. Jesus had done life with these disciples for like 3 years. They were his homies. They were super close. All of them, his disciples had given up their futures, their lives to follow Jesus. And one night he's talking to him and he's telling them, hey, you know what? I'm not going to be here forever. I'm not going to be here as you know me physically. And no doubt their minds, they probably would have started freaking out a little bit, like, what are we going to do without Jesus? What are we going to do if he leaves us, if he abandons us? And Jesus quickly squashed that feeling out when he gives them some hope. He starts to tell them that, hey, I don't leave you as the world leaves people. I don't leave you as orphans. I'm not abandoning you. In fact, it's better that when I go, because I'm going to be leaving behind the Holy Spirit. If I don't go, the Holy Spirit won't come here. And right now, as you know me, I'm only here with you when I'm physically with you. I can only be one place at one time, but the Holy Spirit who's coming after me will be with everybody who follows Jesus all the time. And he was trying to comfort his disciples. And as he's going through this, we pick this story up in the book of John, chapter 14. He says this, he says, but the advocate. Now that word is just a fancy word for like a helper or like a lawyer kind of person, someone who goes before you, who comes alongside you and helps you. He's the helper, the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name. He will teach you all the things and will remind you of everything I have said to you. He's saying it's going to be as if I didn't leave. I'm not really leaving you. This is better this way. And then he goes on to say this, peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. I don't know about you, but that sounds good to me. We all need peace right now more than ever. I do not give to you as the world gives. And this is so powerful what he says next. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid. How powerful is that? I mean, how powerful is it that we don't have to be troubled and we don't have to be afraid? Think of how often you're troubled, how often you're afraid. And God offers this, Jesus offers this to his disciples, this hope to know that, hey, no matter what you face, I'm not going to leave you. I'm not going to leave you as the world leaves you. You might lose all these people. You might lose people temporarily. You might lose people permanently. They might abandon you, but I'll never leave you. Jesus gave them this hope then, and he gives us, Jesus followers, the same hope today. I want you to imagine for just 1 second what it would be like to never have to be alone, to never have to be abandoned, to know that no matter what we face, we always have the Holy Spirit dwelling in us, living in us, and coming alongside of us to support us, to help us, to give us peace. I don't know about you, but that's an amazing, amazing truth, an amazing promise that we should live in. And I want you to know that in this hopeless time, now more than ever, we need that peace. We need that hope. We need that encouragement. And really that applies to any time. We don't just need it now, we need it always. And it's important for us to understand as Jesus followers, he makes us this promise, that he will never leave us and we will never have to be alone. He will never leave us and we never have to be alone. Branches Youth, whoever is watching this, I would just encourage you to walk in this truth this week. Walk in this truth, this promise that he has provided for us, that he will never leave us and that we never have to be alone. Be awesome this week. Love you guys.